Hi, welcome. My name is Sander and today we're going to talk about buses and how to use them creatively. I don't mean these ones, but I mean this one in Logic Pro X. I hope you're doing great and that you enjoyed this video, so let's get started. So, tip number one is how to set up a normal bus and make it ready to do some automation on it. First, as we see, we have a vocal track of a song I worked on a while ago. I'll let you hear it.
I was riding on. Things are changing. People change. My perspective changes.
She's a really good singer. There's nothing done on it. It's just literally the raw vocal track. If you press X, you hit up the mixer. I already made a delay bus, as you can see, with some effects on it. This is the vocal track. There is no bus where it sends it out to. The first thing I usually do is, now I have one vocal take, but if I have multiple, and just for main purposes to make it easier, I will create a bus that will make the vocal track go into the bus. So I'll go to the stereo out of that track, just choose a bus. I choose bus 10. Let's call it main vox. So also what I like to do is make sure that this track comes into my arrangement. So I right click, create track, and you can see it here. So what we're going to do now is all the processing that I do, I will do on this bus. Because this is the main bus, we already did it. I'll create a send and I'll open one from the delay. I didn't send any amount to it. I will gradually increase it so you can hear what it does and how it works.
I was riding on. Things are changing. People change. My perspective changes. And desire shift to black, and now we're back and forth.
So that is how you usually do it. Any automation that I want to be done, I can do to this. Any plugin I put on it, I can do any automation I want on it. If I want to have some automation on the delay, I have to do the same thing. I have to put it in my arrangement. So I create track and there's a delay. So here I can automate anything that I want. You can also do some creative stuff. Let's say you have a delay, but you will want some distortion after it.
I was riding on. Things are changing. People change. My perspective changes.
What I like to do as well is play with the pitch before the delay. So now I'll put it on. But I like it always if it's before delay. So I'll just drag it, click it here, and you can move it over. And that's how it sounds now.
I was riding on. Things are changing. People change. My perspective changes.
And you can do this with anything, but I like to do things like this with a reverb or delay. It just keeps the options open. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So for this next tip, what I'm going to give you is how you can send a send from a send. It's kind of like Inception. It works really dope. Give you an example. We have this delay, but I would like to add some space to it. Also, while adding some space to the main vocals, what I can do, I can create a new send. Let's call it reverb. I'll open a little plate from Sound Toys. Make sure that the width is to 100% when you're using a bus. It works better like that because you can really have control. So now I will give some reverb to the delay signal.
I was riding on. Things are changing. People change. My perspective changes.
And you can really create some nice textures doing this. So for this next tip, I want to tell you about track stacks. What that does is actually you can make a more organized view in the arrangement window in Logic, or you can use it as a summing bus. There's a whole lot of stuff, but I'm going to show you how to do it. First, click the first track you want to add to the bus. Then the last, hold shift while doing it. Then right click, create track stack. This is a folder stack and you can do that if you want it more organized, but you don't want it to be summed together, and the summing stack will create a bus automatically to create a coherent bus for everything. As you can see, it's all now in this bus. If I close it, you'll see it like that. Just gives a more neat view if you have a lot of tracks going on. And you can do any processing to the bus now. So I can do a compressor. So we can call this the drum bus, and we can make a new one here and call this the melody. So now we have two buses which separate everything nicely. For my fourth tip, I want to show you how you can use buses for parallel compression, distortion, or anything that you want to do in parallel as an effect. So I have the drum bus here. What I then do, I create a new send. Let's just use number 10. Then you right click on it, do pre-fader. This is very important, especially when you use distortion or the compression. You don't want the fader balance to affect the incoming sound of the parallel channel, because what happens, you'll mess up the balance, especially with a compressor. It will start to use more or less gain reduction, the amount you add. So if it's here, it's pre-fader, click Alt, click it, it comes to a 0 point. So now we have this bus. I'm going to use an overdrive just for the sake of the effect, so you can hear what it exactly does. So this is how it is, and you can add the amount of distortion that you want, the parallel channel. You can add it with the normal fader. So now you don't hear it. So I hope you hear it. You can over exaggerate the fact just a little bit. So you can just hear what it does. So for my last tip, I'm going to show you how you can create a sidechain if you're using a software kick or a plugin, because usually that's a little bit tricky to figure out, but it is possible. I just have this distorted kick a little bit, it's just for purposes to show how it works. But it's not something that I want to be heard in the track. So what I can do is I'll press no output, so now you won't hear it, but it does create a sound. So what I'll do, I'll create a send and I'll just put it on 100 like I did earlier. Doesn't matter to be pre-fader or not. Then we have a bus that will now make sound, but we still don't want the sound, so also here, no output. We call this SC kick. Now we have a sidechain that will give a signal but will make no sound, which is what we want. The melody bus that I just created. I just want to show you how it works if I use a compressor. Then I'll go to sidechain, bus 10, because that is the sidechain bus that we created. So now you should see when I play it, it will give gain reduction the moment the kick hits. This is very handy if you want to create something but you don't have the right sound to create a nice signal to really have control of the sidechain. And like this, you can. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you think it was useful, consider hitting that thumbs up and hitting the subscribe button. It would really help me out. I'm going to upload some more tips, and if there's anything you'd like to see or something you want to know, please let me know in the comments. And also, thank you for being a part of this and have a lovely day. Bye.